Good afternoon. My name is Kyle Smith. I'm with South Central Precision Ag. I get questions a lot how to work with connectors, and one of the simplest connectors you can use is weather packs. They're on all of our equipment in the field, and so today I'm going to show you the basics and how to crimp one. This is my kit that I use in my truck. It's a little dirty because it sits in my truck, but I have shroud bodies. Then I have what we call the tower body, and then the male pins. Let's see, these are the male pins here, and then these are the female pins, and then we have the seal. If you have to do a wire repair, this is one of the easiest, cheapest connectors to use. We are going to start selling these kits, but basically I've got single pin weather packs. I've got what we use commonly, a lot of 3 pins, 2 pins. Here's a 2-pin, 2-pin shroud body. But also, if you've got bigger configurations, there's 4-pin. I think we even go up all the way up to 6-pin. So super easy to use. Here is the sheet that kind of tells you how they go together. I kind of have it memorized. I've been doing this a long time. But really, all we have to do, we have to have a pair of wire strippers. Then I think these are $30 on Amazon. These are weather pack pliers. All we have to do is put it in our strippers and strip it about 1/2 to 1/4 inch. If it's too long, you just cut a little bit of the copper wire off. Now we put a weather pack seal on the wire. And now this is a tower end, so it will use, you can use them either way, but industry standard is you use a female pin in a tower connector. So I'm going to stick my finger right there on the end. I'm going to stick the wires in there. I take a smaller bite. There's a smaller teeth that you stick them in. I just stick them in. And then you get a nice tight crimp on the wire. Now, to lock the seal in, you flip them over and you get one of the biggest ones you can get that will fit. And there's your connection. And so now we can slide that in our connector and lock it in. Close it up. Now we'll do the other end real quick. So like I said, you're gonna strip. Now that one I got a little bit long, and that's okay. I just cut it off where I want it. Put a seal on. And now I need a male end to go into the shroud end. So again, I take on this set of connectors, it's the D terminal, but just the smaller teeth, and that gets me a good tight crimp. And then I take the biggest one, slide it in there, and that's a really good seal. So then I'll slide that in there to the shroud end, lock that in. We have a good weather tight connector. Now, if I want to get these apart, very important, you need this $5 tool, and you might want to order a few of them because sometimes they bend. They're kind of flimsy. But all I got to do is unlock my weather pack, slide that in, and it releases. Very simple to use, very simple to have. These are really good. I'm going to start selling these kits eventually. I've got to make them. But these would be really good to have in your toolbox, in your shop, just to make repairs. There's so many wires on equipment now that this is what we need to do. Also some basics for industry standards. If you look at these connectors, somewhere they're marked. Yeah, they used to be marked up here, but on here they're marked. I don't know if you can see it, but one's marked A, the other's marked B. If you, industry standard, if you're putting it together a power cable and a tractor, pin A will always be power. Pin B should always be ground. I've seen companies swap them, but really industry standard is A should always be power and B should always be ground. Now, coming from the battery, if you look at ag leader cables or any other cables that we sell, typically the tower end, this connector will be power coming from the battery. This will be your accessory plugging in, if that makes sense. So that's the basics on weather packs and how to put them together. We use Waytech for our supplies. We stock a lot of connectors, and so if you need anything, let us know. Thanks.